Excellency Dr. K. Rosaya, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Dr. P. Satish Chandra, Director and Vice Chancellor of the NIMHANS, Shri Cardamom M. Ramesh, Chairman of the Cardamom Group, other members of the Cardamom families, the doctors and other staff which are serving the Cardamom institutions, distinguished recipients of the awards, distinguished invitees and friends. This is one of the noblest functions we are attending today, because this is the very noblest purpose for which we have assembled. My field of law and the field of medicine, healthcare, according to the traditions for which they exist, they are noble professions. It is an accepted fact that a doctor is a noble man undertaking human service as a profession. The doctor cannot afford to be a mercenary, and that would not be the purpose for which the doctors learn. That is, again, applies to the legal profession to which I belong, that we help in the rendition of justice. And justice is a divine function which is rendered by God. This is always accepted in civilized society, that principles of natural justice. So nature's justice has to be rendered by man. These are two noble professions, and they exist for noble services. But if you see the assessment of these professions over the years, there was a steep decline in the country, both in legal services as well as the health services. The reason was obvious. After independence, the quality of performance of our society after the first or second phase of independence has declined. In the very governance of the country, you can see it through and through, and we have witnessed this in our own ears. But there is another always a ray of hope, that older order changeth, yielding place to the new. Then the hope springs from eternal in the human breast, and then we have the new generations. With that faith, we should work for re-energizing the two professions of law and healthcare. When I came to Karnataka, I met an elegant young man and his wife, doctors, who invited me to a function in a hotel. And I went there and sat with them and I talked to them. I had a little knowledge about mental health and problems related to that, because as a law minister, the health minister had approached me that, and several doctors, psychiatrists particularly, approached me the problems in treatment of patients. Because of the complex nature of this treatment, doctors are sometimes themselves become victim of the patient. So this is one area where the people are hesitant to treat such people. But then there are brave doctors, and doctors who are committed to serve the patient. They take that plunge and face the consequences, but never get deterred by serving the society. So I had taken up this issue with the Minister of Health, but nothing moves for noble things these days. You have to just go on postponing in matters. You see, the matters of urgency you just postpone. And I don't think that law has been amended. I had it on my priority basis. But in Karnataka, I have seen tremendous amount of healthcare being improved. And when I met the two young doctors, they told me that yes, we have our own clinic, our own hospital, modern and good. My interest developed in that for my own sake. So then I met the family who have been doing such excellent work in this difficult arena of healthcare. I call it difficult. I know the hazards around this. It's not very paying. It is not very attractive. Not very many people know, and all these things. But then, if just listen to one patient who has been cured, who is now confident, back in his normal life, that gives me much more satisfaction of making crores of rupees by profession. Just reviving one life, reviving one person back to normal work and making him confident to work and get back to his work. So this is what requires a feeling which we must acquire. And this movement must pick up. There should be no argument for the government to help immediately to such institutions, because jointly we can do things much better. Today Dr. Satish Chandra's participation itself is a great encouragement, because he is a very senior person in this man. And I know his institution is a premier institution here, and they have also a healthcare department, mental care department, and I hope that the coordination between NIMHANS and other allied institutions will help us in Karnataka to establish a very sound network of healthcare. That is my purpose. I am not a doctor, but I have lived in doctors. I have been advisor to the Medical Council of India for several years, and Medical Council of Delhi when I was a lawyer there. And I know all eminent doctors everywhere in India. So I know they are very good doctors in India. But don't mind my saying, this attraction for money is increasing quite a lot. And therefore, the costs involved in the healthcare are also increasing nowadays, unaffordable to ordinary citizens. So we must join in such missions along with the government. The primary responsibility of the government is to give health care, but you all appreciate that there is no confidence in the health care offered by the government these days. I was visitor of several hospitals in Delhi, but this was run by Delhi government. They were excellent. There was a tradition in those hospitals that all prominent physicians, all prominent surgeons, they had their nursing homes, but they all volunteered to work at least 2 hours in a government hospital, voluntarily, without any remuneration. And what happened? Those doctors who volunteered this service, they became most prominent doctor historically in Delhi. And after change of generations, their name still exists. Dr. Mahajan, Dr. Sopti, Dr. Vyas, all kinds of people have come in new generation, but they remain the standard that they care for the society. Similarly, in mental health care, there are 2 doctors in Delhi who are committed to this cause, and simultaneously they even faced the litigation. But I assured them as a law minister, you go ahead with your program, nothing will happen to you. And they were all looked after by the government, and ultimately I insisted the government to provide a proviso in the mental health care, like we have in the general exception of the IPC, that nothing is an offence which is done by a doctor in good faith and for the welfare of the patient, even without his consent. So that was accepted by the cabinet, and it has still to be implemented. Therefore, when citizens are willing to work for us, citizens are willing to invest their money also and invest their career also, there is no reason for us, whether the governor or minister or anybody, not to say no to these efforts of the citizens. We all exist. These high offices all exist for public service. And We are known as public servants. So this public office is for serving the people. And ultimately, if you do that, you will get a good name from the society. And that is why I always feel you should be available to the most ordinary person and accessible to the ordinary person, so that you know the problems of the ordinary people. Problems of the ordinary people. And doctors are ordained by their ethics. Whenever a patient comes, even at midnight, you have to attend to him. You have as a duty of your profession. You can't say, I'm sleeping. No. Therefore, when they offer this kind of service, we as citizens also should not say, we will not support you and we will not do this for you. You should volunteer. I offered to all good people in Karnataka, that this Rajbhavan belongs to you. You can come any time, you can do anything here. It's a building where are given by the government to reside. So this is a huge building, you can use it. And I am so happy that over the years I have got hundreds of programs, and I came in contact with hundreds of talented writers, talented speakers, and talented women and men and press people who were unknown to me. So Karnataka is full of talent. I'll just mention 2 lines from Thomas Gray's Elegy. So many gems of the purest ray serene lie in the unfathomed caves of the ocean bare. So Karnataka has got precious stones hidden in the bottom of on the bottom of the ocean. Let us bring them out and let them shine now. We should not get alarmed. There is always one poem which from my childhood I have been listening, and that is one line even my wife and we use now, we shall overcome. Hum honge kamyab. And I always done in my career. Initially I was like your slum millionaire, Jeho. And we have now served the country for almost more than 40 years unblemished. And this tenure of my Karnataka, I think, is the most successful, because I found elegant people, and elegant men and women, elegant doctors, elegant professors, elegant press people. So we have no reason to be disappointed. We shall overcome, and this institution has got great hope and great people behind it. Mr. Ramesh himself, how can you ignore his services? He could opt for much more rewarding discipline of health, where there is instant money. This bypass surgery and others, they are very paying nowadays. But to cure a person by your affectionate touch, or by your counseling, or spending time with him, is a very, very rewarding function of a doctor. I was in United States in early 80s, and in Harvard area I saw one such mental health care. I reminded to doctor that you should go like that. In UK also, had said one. They themselves came to India. Very recently I had 3 meetings with the UK Director of Health Services. He came along with the Prince of Wales in Karnataka, and we had one conference of integrated medicine which was attended by delegates from several countries. That time is coming that Indians will also go far ahead of others in healthcare. For 2 reasons. You have powerful legacy in India of various systems of medicines. We had, when the Persian people came, you had the Unani system, Unani, Hikmat, and then Ayurveda system. Before that, they were all integrated in India. Unani, and Ayurveda were integrated. They remained in force till recently, unless the allopathy came. And now we are blending yoga and physiotherapy and naturopathy in our treatment. So all these are very good systems, even acupressure of the Chinese system. Chinese and India are similar people. They are ancient civilization, they use their own methods also. We can use this. And before I conclude, I will make one piece of advice which is very important for me, that all this stress, all this addiction to alcohol or drugs or any kind of toxic substances is the failure of human beings. There are very simple rules in our Shastras which we can just rejuvenate. There are commandments of human life, and I follow them. And every student should follow in India. Just say Matri Deva Bhav. This family is successful because they worship their mother. You could see the elderly lady coming to the dais and struggling to light the lamp. So the tradition is very successfully followed by this family. They respect the mother and then the father also. Then they respect their teacher, Matri Deva Bhav, Pitri Deva Bhav, Acharya Deva Bhav. So three important institutions. Mother is the real God on the earth. There is no substitute of mother. Mother gives you birth. Mother nourishes you, makes you stand on your feet. So how can you find God anywhere else? It is with your mother. So rightly our Taittiriya Upanishad says that. Then Pitri, without support of the father, the children cannot be looked after. He is your bread earner. Then the teachers, the importance of the teachers and professors, they make a man out of you. The word so-called dharma. This dharma is not just rituals. Dharma is the way of life, a righteous way of life. So that is what Guru tells you, Acharya tells you. So you have to respect the Guru and then your Atithi Deva Bhav. Although it has been a costly thing for India to welcome all the guests from this side or that side, but we have not abandoned, because Tagore said, none shall be turned away from this vast sea of humanity that is India. It is epitomized by Tagore's literature and we have accepted it. Lastly, I'll say the finest principle of our culture is Shardham Dei. You donate with generosity. Money, if it is with you, donate for society's cause, and that will give you additional bonus in your work. If you donate generosity, good people, entire endowment, entire donations by high corporate people in America, they built an elegant education and healthcare system in America. All good universities, they have come by endowments. Big companies aren't, and then return back to our system has not happened it like. People donate just lip service, small amount of money. You earn 2,000 crore in a year. Why can't you give a 5% or 10% to such institution so that they can expand? If you do that, your money will remain the same, but other people will be benefited. Now, I am very happy there is an amendment in the Companies Act, the corporate social responsibility. It can help quite a lot of people. So I once again thank you profusely, and particularly the committed doctors and team of this institution. This expansion of this wing is not the end of it. We will continue more targets in healthcare, and so long as, and even if after I am not a governor here, you are always welcome to get my guidance and my support. This family we have almost adopted as our own family, and we will support you wherever we are. Thank you. Jai Hind.